You spend your entire life chasing money, yet almost no one ever teaches you how money truly works. We're told to study hard, get a stable job, and save for the future. But those who follow that path often feel trapped, while others, who quietly break the rules, seem to build freedom instead. It feels unfair, but it isn't luck. It's a pattern hiding in plain sight. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And it explains why effort alone rarely leads to wealth. This is the essence of Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And today on Beyond the Books, we're going to uncover it together. We are born into a world where money moves silently. It flows beneath the surface of daily life. And most people never notice the currents shaping their future. The first truth is this: your mindset about money decides whether you master it or it masters you. Most people believe money comes from hard work alone. They trade hours for a paycheck, spend what they earn, and repeat the cycle, hoping for security that never fully arrives. This is the mindset of the poor dad. But there is another way of thinking, one where money becomes a tool, a system that works for you, even while you sleep. This is the perspective of the rich dad. To see the difference, start simple. Poor dad says, go to school, get good grades, find a stable job. Rich dad says, learn how to make money work for you. Both sound reasonable, but they lead to completely different lives. Picture two roads. One leads to lifelong dependence on a paycheck. The other leads to freedom, where income flows even when you're not working. Here's a simple illustration. An employee works 40 hours a week. Every month, they earn a salary. They pay bills, maybe save a little. But their time is gone. Now imagine an investor who owns a rental property. Tenants pay rent each month. The investor's time is untouched. Yet money flows in while they sleep. And here lies the first crucial insight. Assets feed you. Liabilities bleed you. Why is this distinction so powerful? Because most people mistake liabilities for assets. They buy a bigger house and call it an investment. They buy a new car and call it a necessity. But both quietly drain money from their pocket. They demand insurance, taxes, and maintenance. They keep the owner chained to the next paycheck. Rich Dad teaches a different rule. Only call something an asset if it puts money into your pocket, without you working for it. Here's the hidden pattern. The difference between the rich and the poor is not the size of their paycheck. It's the flow of money through their lives. The poor and middle class earn money and immediately spend it. Expenses rise to match income. The rich use income to acquire assets first. Those assets generate more income, which buys more assets. It's a self-sustaining feedback loop. Wealth grows because the system feeds itself. Now, let's compare the mindsets. Poor dad believes security comes from stability. A job, a pension, insurance against risk. Rich dad believes security comes from control. From building streams of income no one can take away. From creating a financial ecosystem that doesn't depend on a single source. But here's the problem. Our schools rarely teach this. We're taught to memorize facts, follow instructions, and enter the labor market. We are not taught how money moves. Why? Because the system thrives on workers who trade time for wages. It doesn't thrive on a society full of independent investors. Well, think of it this way. There are 4 ways to earn money. This is Kiyosaki's Cashflow Quadrant. 1. Employee. Work for someone else. 2. Self-employed. Work for yourself, but still trade time for money. 3. Business owner. A system earns for you. 4. Investor. Money itself grows your income. Poor dad's path stays on the left, employee and self-employed. Rich dad's path moves to the right, ownership and investment. Here's the subtle key. Each step to the right requires a new mindset, not just more money. Employees think in terms of security. Business owners think in terms of systems and leverage. Investors think in terms of flow, risk, and opportunity. This is why true financial education isn't about numbers. It's about perspective. Let's make this real. You earn $5,000 a month. Your expenses are $4,500. You save $500. Then you buy a second car with a loan. Expenses rise to $4,900. You feel fine because you can make the payments. But now, part of your future time belongs to that car. You've deepened the trap. Rich Dad's approach is different. Instead of spending the $500, you invest it. Maybe in a small vending machine business. It earns $200 a month. Your inflow rises to $5,200. Repeat this cycle, and that asset eventually buys the car. Without touching your main income. Wealth is not about having money. It's about building systems that create money. The rich are not just lucky. They see differently. When an employee gets a raise, they think, what can I buy? When an investor sees extra cash flow, they think, what can I build? But why do most people stay trapped? Fear. Fear of risk. Fear of leaving the familiar path. Fear of losing the little they have. Rich Dad treats fear as information. He studies risk, learns from it, and designs systems to manage it, instead of avoiding it altogether. Here's the hidden architecture of financial life. 1. Earning loop. How money enters your life. 2. Spending loop. How money leaves. 3. Growth loop. How money multiplies. Poor Dad lives mostly in the first two loops. Earn, spend. Earn, spend. Growth is rare and accidental. Rich Dad optimizes the third loop relentlessly. Every dollar becomes a seed. Every asset becomes a tree. And the forest grows, feeding itself. This is the essence of financial independence. It isn't a single event. It's the emergent property of a well-built system. When your assets produce enough to cover your life, you are free. Free to use time differently. Free to take creative risks. Free to keep building without the weight of survival. And in the end, the difference between the rich and the poor is not money. It's awareness. Awareness of cash flow. Awareness of assets and liabilities. Awareness of the patterns that quietly compound or quietly consume your life. When you see the system, you can design your life around it. And once you design it well, money works for you. Not the other way around. Most people will work for money forever. But freedom begins the moment you decide to make money work for you. Today, choose one expense you can transform into an investment. And commit to making that shift. Comment "Shift" if you've chosen yours. Like this video and subscribe to Beyond the Books. To keep building your mindset for financial freedom, start small. Think like an owner, not a worker. Because this is where wealth truly begins.